This is the Aniioki AQ177 Pro Max dual motor electric bike, and it's built around one main idea, and that's maximum range. It's got a gigantic battery, dual motors, fat tires, and a pretty sturdy frame. Now on paper, this is perfect for somebody who's looking to just ride long distances without having to worry about charging. Now, I decided to test it the hard way. After unboxing it and assembling it, I charged it just one time. Now over the past couple of weeks, I have been updating you on YouTube Shorts as to my adventure on how far this thing can go before it finally died. And today, we're gonna get those final range results. But first, let's get a little bit more information about the AQ177. We'll go over the features and specs. I'll take you out on a ride. And of course, we're gonna have those range results. Let's get started. The Aniioki AQ177 Pro Max dual motor e-bike normally sells for $2,099. But at the time of filming this review, it's on sale for just $1,899. Payment options include credit card, PayPal, Google Pay, Apple Pay, and if you can't afford it all up front, they do offer payment plans through Afterpay, Klarna, and Affirm. Available color options include matte gray, matte black, and pearl white. And they do offer a 12-month warranty on most of the e-bike and a 24-month warranty on the frame itself. One thing you'll notice right away is that this thing is built like a tank, coming in at a hefty 133 pounds. 30 pounds of that is the battery alone. Now, as I mentioned, it has really nice hydraulic brakes. It's also got dual motors to try to handle all that weight. You got a top speed of around 30 miles an hour, and the range, well, it's something that not too many, if any, e-bikes can even match. But there are a few quirks that I will go over in this review, and it's stuff that you really need to know before you make the decision on buying one. The AQ177 has a massive 52-volt, 70-amp-hour removable lithium-ion battery. This baby weighs a massive 30 pounds on its own. Now, they say we can get up to 90 miles of range on throttle only and up to 200 miles of range in pedal assist. For the first 39 miles, I rode the AQ177 balls to the wall in dual motor and throttle only. Now, to be fair, the next 21 miles, I rode it in pedal assist 3, in single motor, and I pedaled the entire time. Now, for the rest of the range test, I mixed pedaling and throttle to try to emulate how a person would actually ride. After 60 miles, I had only lost 2 battery bars and had 4 battery bars left. And I started thinking to myself, wow, is this range estimate actually legit? Well, from there on out, it was a challenge. It was an experiment, and it made riding more fun. So how far did I go? Well, more on that later. The AQ177 comes with 2-piston hydraulic brakes and 180mm rotors. Now, you need to have really strong brakes to stop all 133 pounds from 30 miles an hour. How well do they work? Well, I'm going to be doing a high-speed brake test in a few minutes to see if they can do the job. One of my favorite features about the hydraulic brakes on this bike is the see-through reservoir here for the oil. I've never seen anything like this before on an e-bike, and I think that looks really cool. If you like riding off-road, you'll be happy to know the AQ177 has 20-inch by 4-inch wide fat tires. The maximum PSI is 20 PSI, so that should keep them soft enough to give us really good grip in those off-road and sandy conditions. You want to find out how well they work? Stick around. I'm going to be riding in some off-road conditions in just a few minutes. For suspension, we have front adjustable hydraulic suspension, and you can adjust how stiff or how soft you want your suspension right there. Now in the rear, we have dual spring suspension that I believe is also adjustable. Now I'm really happy that we have front and rear suspension on this bike. The last couple bikes that I've reviewed, they only had front suspension, and you can tell a huge difference in the ride quality, especially when you're riding off-road. For a seat, we have a nice big, large, soft, comfortable seat. Much better than a lot of the other e-bikes out there. I have gotten a little bit of numb legs when riding over miles and miles and miles, but overall, it's pretty comfortable. It is adjustable, so if you're short, you can bring it down. If you're tall, you can bring it up, so you shouldn't have any issues there. Now on the back is an additional seating area, a nice pad here, so if you want to take a buddy or a child along with you, you're able to do that. I just say be extra careful if it's a kid. Make sure they're holding on tight because there really isn't anywhere for them to put their feet or to hold on to. Well, now that we've gone over everything we need to know here about the AQ177 Pro Max, what do you say? Let's take this baby out for a ride. We're gonna do a high-speed brake test, we're gonna do a top speed test, off-road, grass, and much, much more. Plus, I got those range results from my 2-week-long range test on one single charge to find out how close can we get to 200 miles of range. So let's get started. started. All right, before we get started on the ride, I wanted to give you a quick overview of the cockpit and how all the different controls works. So we'll start over on the right side, and we have a full twist throttle, which I really like. I'm not a big fan of the half twist throttles, so that's a pro. Of course, we got our hydraulic brakes and that really cool see-through reservoir right there. And then here is our Shimano shifter, 7-speed shifter. You use this lever right here to go from 7 down to 1, and then there's a little trigger behind it, and you're gonna pull on that, and that's gonna bring you back up to 7. Now over on the left side, this control here may look like a headlight control, but what it actually is your narrow beam and your wide beam. So you're gonna turn your headlight on over here, and I'll show you that in a second. So narrow beam and wide beam, you've got left and right turn signals, and then you have a horn button down there. On here is your main control panel, and typically you would just long press your power button and that should turn the bike on, right? Well, not on this bike. They actually give you a couple of these key fobs. You get 2 of them, and you use this to turn the bike on and off and to set the alarm. Yeah, we have an alarm on this. So to turn the bike on, there's a little lightning bolt button here on the bottom. You're gonna double click that, 1, 2. The bike is gonna turn on, do its little thing, and then it'll be ready to go. Now, once it's turned on, you can use the plus button over here to go from pedal assist 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the minus button to go 4, 3, and 2, 1, 0. All right, now if you hold down the plus button, that turns your headlight on, and then you can use these controls to do narrow beam or wide beam. Hold the plus button again, and that's gonna turn your headlights off. Now, to go from single motor, which I'm in rear single motor right now, into front motor, or dual motor, you're gonna double click this power button. So 1, 2, I go to front motor, 1, 2, I go to both motors. 1, 2, I am back in rear motor. So those are the controls here in the cockpit. Now, here's our screen. It's a nice color screen. Hopefully you can see some of it. I tried to get in the shade for this part so you could see it. We have our battery indicator right there, speed in the middle, pedal assist mode right there, a trip and odometer is gonna be down here, and your maximum speed on your ride, which doesn't work well at all. It'll tell me I did like 60 miles an hour when there's no way that I did that. So I'm not sure why that isn't accurate, but it's not. And then right here is gonna be the little guy on the bike that shows you if you're in single or dual motor. So it's a full color display. It's really nice. Now let me show you how to turn the bike off. To turn the bike off, you're gonna either hit this unlock button at the top or the lock button, which is the second button. If you hit the unlock button, it'll turn the bike off and it will not arm the alarm. If you hit the second button, the lock button, which I'm gonna hit right now, it will turn the bike off and it will set the alarm. So now if someone were to come up to it and they were to tap on it, it's gonna warn them first, but if they do it again, it's gonna set the alarm off just like a car alarm, as you can see. So to turn that off, you can hit the unlock button and that will disarm the alarm. So it's up to you whether you want to keep the alarm armed or not, and that's just by pushing the unlock or the lock button when you shut this off. So that's a look at the cockpit. Let's go ahead and get started on the ride. All right, so the first thing that I want to do is do a top speed test. So we have the rear motor, which is a 1200 watt motor, the front motor, which is a 1000 watt motor, and then both combined has a maximum output of 2800 watts. So I'm going to start off in rear motor, pedal assist 5, and let's see how fast we can get up to in the single motor only, the rear 1200 watt motor. So I'm at 10, I'm at 15, we're at 20. So it looks like 27.6 is where we're gonna be with the rear motor by itself. Now let me go, double click the power button. Let's get to the front motor. So with the front motor, let me go ahead and start pedaling and see how fast we can go. We're at 20, 24. Looks like 24 is about where we're gonna stop there. So now let me double click again, and now we're gonna be in dual motor. Let me go ahead and see how fast we can get to in dual motor. I'll use throttle this time. 27, 28, 31.7. Looks like 31.7 is as fast as we're gonna be able to go in dual motor. Now it is a little bit windy today, so we might get to 33, but close enough, right? So we got to around 32 miles an hour in dual motor. Now, I want to show you the different pedal assist modes and the speeds that you're able to get in pedal assist mode. So if I go down to 1, slow down because it's not very much. If I'm in pedal assist 1 dual motor and I use the throttle, it looks like I'm gonna be stuck at around 9 miles an hour, maybe 10 miles an hour. We'll go to pedal assist 2, and it gives us a little kick. And we're able to get up to around, let's say, 12.6 miles an hour. Give it another kick to pedal assist 3. Now we're able to get 19.7 miles an hour. Pedal assist 4. And we're able to get to around 26 miles an hour. And then of course, pedal assist 5 will give you that 31.7 or 32 miles an hour. So those are your different speed modes and the speeds you're able to achieve in them. All right, now let's do a high-speed brake test. I'm gonna go 20, 25 miles an hour, slam on the hydraulic brakes and see how quick we can stop. Let's do it. 20, 23, 25, let's slam on the brakes and there we go, wow. That was actually really good. Now, a lot of bikes would slam on the brakes and skid to a stop. I didn't really have a skid here, so let me go back here to the beginning of the strip and try to find out how quick we were able to stop from 26 miles an hour, and that's where I hit the brakes. And it looks like the line starts right around here. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, maybe about 35 feet. So this is a 130-pound bike, and we were doing 25 miles an hour, slammed on the brakes, and I was able to stop in 35 feet. That's actually really good for an e-bike of this size and this weight. So the hydraulic brakes work great. Now, there is a caveat that I got to tell you about. I have had a problem with squeaky brakes ever since I got this thing. So in the rear, that's where the big problem was. The front started to squeak. What I've had to do a few times is take the brake pads out. I've had to sand them down to get them back to the original state, use a little brake cleaner on the rotor and on the brake pads, and reinstall them. Right now, I'm riding the first few miles after doing that a second time. I haven't heard any squeaking come back yet, and I'm hoping it doesn't. But as far as the performance, 35 feet to stop this 130-pound bike from 25 miles an hour is not bad. Now, there is one thing that I do want to warn you about. If you're getting this bike for exercise, you're gonna have to tweak the settings a little bit in order to get resistance for your legs. Now, this bike has a cadence sensor, which at the price point it's at, I feel like it should have a torque sensor. If you don't know, the difference is a cadence sensor, when I pedal at all, it gives me 100% motor. If you have a torque sensor, it senses the amount of pressure that you're putting on the pedals and only gives you that amount of power, which is a much more natural feeling. It almost feels like you're riding with Superman legs. While with the cadence sensor, if I pedal really slow like this, it's gonna give me 100% no matter what. So in order to be able to keep resistance on your legs, you're gonna have to go into single motor and pedal assist 3. That is the highest you can go. And if you do that, you are able to pedal and keep up with the pedaling. Anything higher than that, and it's gonna you're gonna have no resistance and it's gonna run away, and at that point you're just gonna be ghost pedaling. So just keep that in mind. You will not be able to go top speed and still have resistance in your legs. You're gonna have to go into single motor and pedal assist 3, and that's as high as you're gonna be able to go. All right, now let's go ahead and test out the suspension and the off-road capabilities. This does have 4-inch wide fat tires, so we should have really good grip on sand and stuff like this, but it's also really bumpy, as you can see right there. And so we can also test out the suspension at the same time. So let's give it a try. I'm in dual motor, speed mode 5, riding on some dirt and some sand. It's a really rough area. This place is under construction right now, and it's handling it really well. Whoop, 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 dip, whoop. No suspension can make it perfect, obviously, but riding around in this dirt and this sand, it doesn't seem to have a problem. And it seems to handle itself really well. I'm able to turn and I'm not skidding out, which is good. If you had skinnier tires, you would be digging in and pretty much falling over. But I am able to ride out here in this dirt on the bumps, and it's actually pretty comfortable. I could use one hand. I'm not worried about it at all. So if you do need to take this thing off-road, you shouldn't have a problem with it at all. Now, I'm not sure if you can see this or not, but there's a little bit of a ba-bump, 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 ba-bump in the front tire. And what's causing that is the tire is a little bit too big for the rim, in my opinion. So if you have the tire deflated and the bike's upside down, you'll notice that the tire just kind of hangs off the rim. And if you fill it up with air while it's hanging off the rim, that's going to make that one side a little bit bigger. And that's what's causing that ba-bump, 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 ba-bump. Now, another thing that I want to point out is that there's a shuddering noise, noise that the motors make once they hit 21 miles an hour, 22 miles an hour, up to 26 or 27. You get the normal noise of, and then it makes this noise that I've reached out to the manufacturer and they don't seem to be concerned about it. But I've never experienced that on any other e-bike that I've tested before. I did see it on some of the other reviewers' videos as well. They got new motors sent to them and they still did it. So it seems like some kind of a problem that they're having, and I don't think you're gonna be able to hear it, but once you hit 22, 23 miles an hour, there's a All right, if you've been around the channel long enough, you know that this big mountain in front of me here used to be the one that I used to ride up on the e-bikes and the scooters to see how well it can go up hills. Over there is where I flipped over the handlebars on a scooter and broke some ribs. So I'm kind of at the scene of the crime here, which has changed quite a bit over the last several months. Now, I'm gonna try to ride up this hill from the other side to do a little hill test and a little bit more off-roading. I've got it in dual motor speed mode 5, so let's go ahead and give it a try and see what kind of power we have going up this hill. Suspension's working good. Those 4-inch wide fat tires are doing a good job of giving me grip in this type of sand that I'm in. So let's try going up here, a little mountain action. This is no problem at all. Plenty of power to go up here. Let's go up even more now, to the top of here. 15 miles an hour, 17 miles an hour. I'm increasing speed going up this hill. So there's plenty of power in the AQ177. I'm pretty high up now, and it didn't have any issues at all. I'm also able to turn one-handed without a problem, without those tires digging in and making me fall. So the fat tires do a great job. It's got plenty of power in dual motor mode. Now let's try these brakes going down the hill and see how well they keep us from running away down the hill. Oh, there's a little squeaking. The squeaking's coming back. So that's definitely a con. So after I have cleaned these brake pads twice now, I'm still getting squeaking. So that's definitely something that they need to look at, is why these brakes squeak. I've even loosened the calipers and tried to adjust those to see if that's the issue, and it still squeaks. So another thing I wanted to point out is that on this bike, when you go full throttle, the rear motor engages immediately, while the front motor takes a couple of seconds to engage. Now, on the other dual motor e-bikes I've tested, both motors engage at the exact same time, and it doesn't on this bike. And I've also reached out to the manufacturer about this, and they don't seem to be concerned, but it's definitely a con. I feel like both motors should engage at the same time. See if you can hear when that second motor engages. Ready? Rear motor, front motor. Try it again. Ready? Rear motor, front motor. So that's like 2 seconds before the other motor engages. Ready? Rear motor, front motor. So it's about 1.5 to 2 seconds. I don't think there should be a delay. There hasn't been on any of the other e-bikes that I've tested that are dual motor. So I'm not a big fan of that. I wish that they would do a little tuning so that both of the motors engage at the same time. Ready? Rear motor, front motor. Rear motor, front motor. So about 2 seconds of a delay, and that's not really optimal. All right, I bet you're dying to find out how far I was able to go on just one charge here on the AQ177. Well, let me take you to that very moment when I ran out of battery so you can see how far I was able to go. All right, well, here it is. After weeks of testing on just one charge, you can see the battery is dead, and I was able to go 110 miles. 110 miles, dual motor, single motor, throttle, pedaling, on-road, off-road, you name it. I rode it just like the average person would ride it, and I was able to get 110 miles
on the AQ177 before the battery went dead.
Well, there you have it, 110 miles of range on one charge. That just blows my mind. It's the most range I've ever tested on any e-bike ever, and it's probably, in my opinion, the champion of range when it comes to e-bikes. So if you're looking for an e-bike you can charge once and ride 110 plus miles before you have to charge it again, this is the e-bike that can do it. Overall though, it's a nice bike, and if you have any questions or comments about the Aniioki AQ177 Pro Max, please leave them down below. I'll be happy to answer any questions you have, and if I don't know the answer, I'll reach out to the manufacturer and I'll get you an answer, all right? Also, I'm going to leave a link down below if you want to purchase one of these. It is an affiliate link that does help out the channel, so if you do want to buy one of these, please use that link. That would be much appreciated. Well, for the Aniioki AQ177 Pro Max dual motor electric bike and HobartsReviews.com, thanks so much for joining me today. My name is Hobart, and we'll see you on the next ride.